Long day lay me low. Welcome everybody. Welcome another Shield promo artist talk stream. Welcome. I am Jason Bascom, Unhinged Entertainment, and blah blah blah, Frog G, all that fun stuff. Without further ado, we're gonna bring on our lovely, amazing co-host, Angela Curry. You know her, you love her. What's going on, Angela? Are you there?
I muted myself. I'm doing well.
Professionalism at its finest, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm trying to get up on the muting. So anyway, happy Sunday to you.
It's Sunday,
Isn't it?
I guess. We'll go with that.
Nice.
I interrupted your lovely, beautiful day. You told me it was beautiful outside, and you're like, Jason, you're evil, and you want me inside. I said, yes, that's why God built walls. So we belong inside. So, and we're here to talk to an amazing human being, Angela. Did you know that?
Yes, we are.
We are. And we're going to bring him on. Look at this. Look at this handsome fella. Look at that.
Hi, Comicsgate.
Oh, he did it.
Snap.
Banned from everything
Cancel.
for life. As Billy says, you're dunzo. Billy Basco says you're dunzo. Yeah, no, we were talking backstage about shadow bans and stuff like that. And yeah, hey, man, Frog G got shadow banned, and we're just a simple little innocent all-ages frog book. So it's a possibility. Just because you hang out with CG or say you're CG, you could very well get excommunicado from the platforms. So, but that's why we're here. We're here to make sure, even if that does happen, though, we're here to get the word out, get these books out, get these campaigns out, let people see them. Angela, we got a chat hopping. Do you want to maybe scroll down to see who's here?
Yeah, got it.
We got Matt Barr in the house.
Matt Barr.
Matt Barr. Yeah, say who they are, Angela. Read it down. Read me the list.
Oh yeah, I'm just see. I can't see it. Matt Barr is here. Hey Matt, and then Jolly Green is here.
Jolly Green. I like that name. It reminds me of Green Jelly, the band. Anybody knows who
Green
they
Jelly?
are?
Yep.
Yeah, the band Green Jelly.
Jello.
Green Jello.
Yeah,
they were Green Jello. They sang the Three Little Pigs. Danny Carey, the drummer from Tool, is in there.
And then they did music for both, was it Beavis and Butthead, the video game, and then also Maximum Carnage.
I didn't know. Yeah, that's right. They did do Maximum Carnage. We got
Hey, 80s Made.
We got 80s Made. Welcome, 80s Made. Great channel.
80 Made is in the house.
Welcome.
I'm having There we go. Hold on 1 second.
A stroke? I hope not.
All right, 1 second.
Mouse issues.
I don't know what's going on. My computer's having one. 80's in the house. Make sure to check out his channel.
Yes, 80s Made Consumer. You'll find me there sometimes.
Yeah, right on. And then Pedro Ang is in the house.
Pedro.
Oh, got Tropical Magics on Kickstarter, everybody. Pedro, phenomenal illustrator, animator, and human being.
I kind of like to think it's a Pedro Ange because I go by Ange sometimes. So
you do, but I like Angelo. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
My apologies. I can't call you. I can't call you Ange like I can't call Irene Reenie. It's just something I don't know what it is. I can't do it.
I know. Yeah, I get it. I guess I get it. But anyway, Phantasmic Oracle is in the house.
Yeah, Fanta. What's going on,
Fanta? So yeah, we got a good group.
Nice.
Oh, look who's that! Look who's here!
Hey, it's
Here
Michael
too.
Bancroft.
Hey, what's going on, Bancroft?
Hour.
If I wasn't mistaken, didn't you launch on Bancroft?
I did, and thanks to the proverbial Bancroft bump, we were over halfway in the first 2 hours. So
dude, Bancroft is great.
Bumps.
Yeah, not only is he a great promoter though, like he's just a great YouTuber, comic skater. Like his opinions are fantastic, and I know I'm blowing up his ego bigger than his forehead right now. But I mean, we read, but yeah, I do love Bancroft. He's helped me out throughout the years, and amongst a lot of other independent creators and comic skaters alike. So, hail to you, Bancroft, and wear a hat to hide that forehead. So, yeah. So
Amazing
we got
forehead.
That's what he's got, that VB forehead. Yeah. So we got. You go by Agent Zero. You're also known as Justin Sweet, which
Yes.
I love that last name, Sweet. It's great. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a comic book.
Justin K.
Sweet to the point.
Yeah.
Was just
Well, you got
Justin-
to put the you got to put the K on it, just in case. Sweet, and it's not pretentious. It's just there's an artist out there who's a wonderful Disney concept artist, and he also is well known for the Song of Ice and Fire covers. He does some amazing artwork. And his name is Justin Sweet. You can look him up, check out his website. He's got some really phenomenal art. So that's
what's funny? When I went to get my website domain name, I wanted jasonbascom.com. I wanted my name. There's another Jason Bascom who's also a graphic designer that has that website. I'm like, I can't get now I'm bascomjason.com because of it. So if you look up Jason Bascom, you might find me and the graphic designer. So there's two artists out there also. Nice. Just like there's two artists that are Justin Sweet. So but great. I think it's a good comic name. Like, yeah.
I'm a writer. I'm what is it? Just a writer? That's what I am.
We do now. Say that hashtag out there, just a writer, but honestly, man, that's art too. I view I view art as like, writing, music, traditional like paint, ink, line, making a table, like all these things do involve some sort of creativity or technique or knowledge or passion. And to me, that's what art is. Art is a passion. Like, I even asked this question to Bar. Like, what do you think is the reason why we do what we do? Because, like, art isn't really something you're like, oh, I'm going to make so much money. I'm going to get into it. It's going to be fantastic. It's just more like, I'm going to work a full-time job and do some art and hopefully, get some money. If not, I'm still going to do it. Like, what do you think gives us that drive to want to actually do that? Because that's kind of insane.
Well, to me, it's expression. The things that make me happy and the things that I'm into, I feel like I have this filter that I bring in all this stuff, right? The stuff that dreams are made of, right? These different things that I'm into, and I synthesize it and then I give it out. I give it to other people. I make things and I give it out there. And so to me, that act is. There's nothing more fulfilling than that. And so, as a tabletop role-playing game master, that's you get that instant feedback then, right? Because as you're running a game, and you have your players and they're engaging with the story that you're making, you get that instant feedback. But with comic books, you get a similar feedback, but it takes much longer to get that. But at the same time, it feels the same. And so it definitely, it's what I don't know. I guess you could say it's what stokes my fire. So nice. I guess I am crazy.
Yeah, and exactly though, dude. Exactly. Like I've said this like backstages and Discords. I'm like, I'll probably have to work a full-time job my whole life and do this, whether it be art or comics. Even though I won't maybe make it a career, even if I really wasn't getting much money for it, I would still do it. It's almost like an addiction. Like, it really is. It's like the oddest, strangest form of addiction because you almost, like, you get stuff out of it, but it's just like you don't. It's strange. It's like you get self-satisfaction. Even if everyone hates it, you get self-satisfaction from it. Yeah, so you said you're the writer. You're a writer. And you mentioned you played role-playing games. Now, was it mainly like Dungeons and Dragons? Because I'm old school D&D. Started off with the first edition, and we kind of stayed with the second one. So is that are you like Pathfinder and stuff like that? What did you really get into?
So way back in the day, when I was a teenager, I was introduced to Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Second Edition.
Nice.
And then hot on the heels of that was Third Edition D&D, and so I played that until 3.5 came out. Played that for a while, but in the meantime, I was playing all kinds of stuff. So I was playing Mech Warrior. We were playing Gamma World, the Paranoia, Rifts. I mean, you name it. We were pretty much we had a game, at least a one shot, if not like a short little campaigns here and there at the time. But and then I even got into Werewolf the Apocalypse. I actually went real hard into that one when the revised edition came out back in the day. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say we love werewolves here at Comicsgate. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah. I mean, hey, Chrome Dog is, while he is a big metal werewolf, Krynos looking guy, he doesn't transform. But that's beside the point. He's definitely got the aesthetic. That's nice. For sure. Yeah. But that was definitely, I really like the whole kind of like the interplay that takes place at a table and sitting across from the players or being a player myself. I find it sometimes I find it a little more difficult to be a player because I just got so used to being the one guy who was only had the stories, and everyone wanted to play.
Right, you're a
me
storyteller by
to be able to
nature.
be a player with them. Yeah, and so I just so anytime I'm a player, I love it, but at the same time, I feel sometimes like, well, I'm not. It's weird. It's like I can't think on the fly as a player because I want to give place for the other people at the table too. So
Right.
it's like I have to like hedge myself in. But more recently,
Yeah. Go.
well, more recently, I was into playing a space opera game. It's the system was it's called Stars Without Number.
Never heard of it.
And yeah, it's a sandbox. So sandbox game where you can, as a GM, there's different tables and things to where you can like make random worlds and whatnot. Oh yeah. By the way, love your shirt. Tool's the bomb. Like,
Thanks, man. Dude, I gotta.
Love Tool. Nice. Is that Lateralis or
Yeah.
however you say it?
Yeah, Lateralis. Yeah. I'm a huge
Yeah.
Tool fan.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Enema is my favorite song. By them,
dude,
sure.
that's my favorite
and it's
album.
so appropriate these days. Like,
Dude.
how did they know? How did they know we would be there?
I actually just shared to Angela actually the Push It and Third Eye off of Salival. I sent her those, and she's digging them. So anytime I could introduce or get somebody more into Tool, I try to do it because, I mean, the band is another level. But yeah, and that does bring like to other questions here, like influences. Like you're a writer, you play D&D, you're the GM, DM, like you're a storyteller by nature. So what sparked that though? Like there was something when you were growing up. Like I mean, was it comics that really like did it? Was it books? Was it more books than like R.L. Stein or something like that? Like what really got you into the whole art? Like I'm going to be insane and I'm going to try to do art.
So I think maybe my uncle at the time. So you could the
What's
man
up,
who
Genuine?
he's now kind of my ex uncle. He and my aunt, while they were together, he introduced me to comic books as well as D&D, and so he gave me a box set of Greyhawk at the time. And so this was in the like late 80s, and so I had this. And I had a couple of miniatures or whatever. I didn't really know what to do with it because it was just that. Like I didn't have any of the rules or anything.
Jeez.
But I was very intrigued by it. And but I was also I kind of he introduced me to comic books. He was more into Vampirella, which I mean to me as a child, I mean shoot,
that's a bit much for a
I was
kid.
like 10 years old. But I never was. That's the other thing, right? I never was much for putting the half naked women posters on my walls. So
right.
That was
it was always
Cheesecake was never my
superheroes
thing,
and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and so during that time I was also an avid reader, and so I would just devour like the classics, Treasure Island, Around the World in 80 Days,
Nice.
and then I moved on to there was this one book I'm not sure. Well, I have it down here, but there's a book that really inspired me, and some of you out there might remember Pierce Anthony. He wrote quite a few fantasy novels, and I don't know if he's still around anymore. But what happened was there was this guy. His name was Robert Cornwise, and he was a 15-year-old kid. And of course, when I found this book, it was in my middle school book fair. And it was just sitting there. I was like, man, this book looks cool. I want to get it. And it said Pierce Anthony. I'm like, well, yeah, because my dad, he told me about Pierce Anthony. And so I get this book and come to find out Robert Cornwise was this 15-year-old kid who was very much into fantasy novels, loved Pierce Anthony, loved Anne McCaffrey, lots of other fantasy writers at the time. And but when as he was writing this manuscript, he was in a car crash and it killed him.
Oh, geez.
And so his parents, knew that Pierce Anthony was his idol, right? And so they reached out to him, and so Pierce Anthony took the manuscript and actually published the story and finished it.
Oh, wow!
Put the the ending to it, and so and the book is called Through the Ice, and that one novel. Like, I think if I hadn't read that, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I haven't actually thought about this in years. So you asking me that question was just like, that takes me like all the way back to that moment, And so as I mean, that definitely did it. And so from that time forward, I got into David Eddings, who's another fantasy author. My son likes him.
Nice.
And so I mean, those things kind of put me on the path. But all along, after over all these years, both when before I went into the Army, after I came out of the Army, I've always kind of had a thing for science fiction, but primarily cyberpunk. For some reason, like the whole concept of man versus machine versus man. The Terminator. I mean, even Avatar. I mean, I know these are James Cameron titles.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with that.
But,
I like Terminator.
But I mean, a lot of people don't know this. If you've seen the movie Strange Days, which is it's a great movie. Came out in the late 90s. Great movie. A lot of people don't know this, but that was his screenplay. So that was actually James Cameron's work. Yes,
I didn't know that.
Screenplay, and it was. But that stuff just really spoke to me, like Johnny Mnemonic. I mean, freaking
Johnny
Neuromancer. I mean, Blade Runner. All those things. Philip K. Dick. I mean, that's kind of in a way, Justin K. Sweet. Philip K. Dick is also another way for me to like give respect to him because he's definitely been an influence to me and an inspiration, and he may actually be a cousin of mine because I have. Some dicks on my dad's side.
I think we all have some in our families somewhere. Yes. Yes.
Well, in name. Okay. 100%.
Okay. I just thought you meant personality wise. So anyway, we'll continue.
No. Philip K. Dick. So see, if Philip K. Dick hadn't written "Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep," we wouldn't have Blade Runner.
Yeah, it's true.
And so And then of course Scanner Darkly. That was another really
Scanner Darkly was
cutting
crazy,
edge
man.
film.
Yeah,
that was a crazy movie, and the book is or short story novella, if you will. That's pretty solid. Minority Report. The movie doesn't. I mean, it's actually in some sense it's better than the short story, but in other senses not. But
it can expound upon it. I'm sure if it's a short story, like a movie can maybe make it longer or something like that. But it does that changes in that regard. Maybe.
They definitely, and they definitely brought in more futuristic elements than what he did in his original work.
Yeah.
But I'm totally like that whole concept of technology getting away from man, and nowadays it's with AI getting away from man. It's kind of like, okay, I'm motivated to start drawing now. Because I want to, I see machines taking over this art form, and it's like I need to draw something because I don't want to be, someone that a writer that uses AI art.
Yeah, with Chat GPT or whatever, you got that coming out, and it's like, and then not only then you got the AI art and stuff, but there's something, especially artists who really love the craft and love what goes into it, the human regard of it, the creativity part of it. There's something about those creators, those innovators that like they know what that stuff can be used for, but they would rather use their own like soul and voice and put it into the piece rather than rely on a machine. Like I rely on a machine. Like I use Photoshop because as a tool, my vision sucks, and Photoshop helps me continue to do what I love to do. So we know how to integrate it into what we do, but we don't let it overtake us. So if you're gonna be like, hey, I feel like writing a comic, you know what? I'm lazy. I'm gonna put it into Chat GPT and let them use some of my old dialogues. Then they'll know what to do. Like at that point, you don't love the craft. You don't love what goes into it because there's a sacrifice. Like we avoid our families. We hide from like our friends. We don't go anywhere. We sit here in our little rooms for hours on end, scratching away at paper or typing away at a keyboard, and we punish ourselves in a way because of it. Because that human interaction, we end up missing it, and it hinders us. But at the same time, if we don't do that, we won't be able to put out all the stuff that the people love to see and love to do. And like you said, you mentioned you have a son. I'm sure there's plenty of times you would love to just go have fun with your son. Be like, oh man, I got to crank out a couple pages today. I'm sorry, I can't do it. And I think a lot of people, they see the end product and they're just like, oh, cool, but they don't realize like some of the sacrifices that do go into that. And we do it because we love it, but we also love people to get it. And so, like you have gotten all these things because of all these other people's sacrifices down the road, and that's awesome. And like you respect it, and so you fuse it into what you do, and it's fantastic. And so, what made you want to do like comics, like instead of like maybe a graphic novel or something? Was it more or less of an economical thing? Was it just a lengthy thing, or do you just like prefer the medium over the other?
So
what's up, Pen?
That's a good question. So you're saying a comic is in like a floppy versus a graphic novel?
Floppy. I mean, I call them both comics because their comics are comics. You know what I mean? If you have like a graphic novel of 120 pages, it's still like a separate comics melded into one.
Sure. So I guess to best answer the question is I'm not pretentious enough to be a novelist, so that's out of the window. Right. That's no. I can't. I don't get high on my own farts. Okay. Just because I go by Justin K. Sweet,
you don't love your own stench.
Oh, no. No. I when I drink my tea, I don't drink it with my pinky up. Okay.
I sometimes do. How dare you, sir? How dare you? I sometimes do.
I say thee nay.
Proper.
But proper. No. You're right. Proper etiquette. But in all seriousness, I don't have the ego that it takes to be a novelist. But I also it goes back to that interplay between the storyteller medium and the reader, right? And so I attribute I knew I was on the right track when I left tabletop role playing game. I finished a campaign and I came to the realization that here we spent this, dedicated time every week for the past year to get the story to a certain, ending, right? And now that it's over, all I have left to show for it is a bunch of GM prep and memories that I and my players have. That's it, right? No one else is going to know about it. No one else is going to see it. It was just us at the table, so to speak, right? And so I got to thinking, I'm like, well, I want to tell, this story shouldn't just stay here. It should go on. And so I thought, well, I have all this material. I can synthesize and make it into something that, that can fit in a different medium. And around that time, I'd been listening to Eric July for a long time, and he inspired me unknowingly, obviously. Because I'm just one of of his 400 plus thousand subscribers.
Thousands,
on YouTube. Yeah. But I was inspired to say, okay, well, if he can do it, then I can do it. Right. And then he brought up EVS one day, and I'm like, who's EVS? And so I looked it up, and then as I just kind of listened and watched the different YouTube channels and the interactions and things, I really felt like these are my people. And so and I thought, well, now I kind of have to do something. And so I figured out, okay, well, I'm just going to write a script. And so as I was figuring out the script, I had some character ideas, and then I approached Luke to do some character concept design, and you could say the rest is history in that regard.
Nice.
But getting, kind of getting back, I've chosen this medium. And I feel, so I chose because of that. But now, I know that I've made the right choice because of something that Will Eisner says in one of his textbooks. He talks about how important it is to, how sequential art is very important as a medium to convey messages between the writer or, the person who's, portraying the story and the reader who's engaging with it. And it is the most engaging medium there is outside of maybe watching a movie. But even then, it's even more engaging because in a comic, you can look back on another page. You can, and you can pay attention to more of the details around the page than what you would do in a movie. And with books, forget about it, because in books, you got all the prose, and once you move past the prose, you just keep going. And so right. It's not, it's definitely more, it's definitely, it feels best for me
Right.
to use as a
Right,
storytelling
and
medium.
even in comics, and what I love is there's a few examples of this out there, and one of my favorites is Silent Night, Deadly Night by Frank Miller. Like, you're a writer, but you still have to convey the story as it goes. You have to direct it. In that regard, you could write nothing in the whole comic, and it still hinges on what you say, even though there's no dialogue, like in Silent Night, Deadly Night. Because if you make one, like, he needs to do this on the next panel, if that goes awry, that flow isn't there, then the artist won't know where to go. So therefore, it all hinges on you, the writer. Like a comic artist, we're pivotal. We need to be there for a comic because it's a visual medium. Don't get me wrong, and that could break a story too. It could turn you off from a sale or something like that. But if you don't have that writer there, whether they actually put dialogue in it or pure direction, if they're not there to really capture that and retain that reader, even if it's a silent book, because there's been even long form stories where they have some silent books, you're going to lose out on a future customer and a future fan. And so as a writer, like, I know the hashtag is out there, just a writer. It's more than that. Like, it's the second half of a soul in a comic. It really is. Mm-hmm. So like, as far as like going into that regard, like, how in depth do you view your role in itself? Because, like I said, it might be second half of a soul, but without that teamwork, it doesn't mesh well. So, like, you feel more of a control person, like it needs to be my way, or do you feel like, hey, I need this other half of me, this other half of the team to really delve in and be like, hey, we kind of need to go this route and you shoot me back too. Like how much control do you like to have?
So I'm learning because I've so far I've dealt with two completely different creative teams. Okay. And this other project that I'm working on, or have been working on, is to be coming out here soon. But I can say that as much as I want to be the one that's like completely in control, I'm more of a, hey, I'm gonna, here's the boundaries of what I'm looking for, and I do my best to give the artist enough room to express how they would like to portray what's happening, because I'm as much as I wish it weren't the case, my experience in this medium is still very, very novice. Okay. Very much a novice.
Mine too. Yeah.
And so I'm leaning kind of heavily on the artist to help with the concept of the layout and this and that. So there are certain, while I want to convey certain panels to be in a certain way, I don't want it to be so rigid to say, okay, I'm only going to tell this story in this one way, my way or the highway, that kind of thing. I would much rather have a kind of back and forth, and for us to almost like a band, right? Where
good example. Yeah.
Think of me as a drummer, because I guess I am a drummer too. Marching
nice.
band in high school.
Hey, I did it too. Yeah, I was too.
Yeah, nice. But yeah, I'm the drummer, and so but I'm the guitarist and the vocalist. As long as you have those three at least, okay, you've got a band like Rush or Muse, right? Of course, with Muse, you have Matt Bellamy. He's on guitar and vocals, and then I don't remember the drummer, but they have a bassist, and that's it. It's like those three.
Right.
They're Nirvana, same thing. I mean, when you have a three-piece band, so I approach it this way. It's kind of one of those things where, yes, I may be the one writing the stories.
Go on, Frank.
I may be the one writing the stories and coming up with the the lyrics, so to speak, for the most part. I can only bring the beat. I can't really be the one to bring the lead in.
Right, but it's a great example because, like, and you mentioned Rush and stuff, like, or even Tool, like without a great drummer, a great person to keep that tempo. Like, yeah, everybody else could maybe kind of do it, but they might go off track. They might lose it. You're that driving force that if you're off a beat or off here or there, the whole band will end up getting thrown off, or the singer might look back at you and be like, "What are you doing, dude?" So it's without that tempo, those legs, like it could just all fall right off the table. And like you said, yeah, you're conducting the lyrics also and stuff like, and there's, you know, and we're using the music metaphor because it's an art form as well. So without, you know, there's plenty of bands who do write, like look at Genesis. I mean, you know, Phil Collins, he wrote the songs
There you go.
and played drums. So, you know, I mean, but once again, it comes back to that if you wrote a book, you mainly just need your editor. Like, that's really it. It's all you. But with a comic, there is that flow of engagement that you need to have with the other creators. And if you're too headstrong about things, you need that input from the guitarist. You need that input from the vocalist. Bass players are a dime a dozen. But anyway, just kidding. I have friends that are bass players. I'm just kidding. But
tell that to Les Claypool, okay?
or Ryan Martinez from Mudvayne, you know. Yeah, no, I'm
Nice,
kidding. Yeah, but yeah, but without that cohesiveness, without that flow, the whole thing will crumble and fall apart. And like even a letterer, like a book can be tight and amazing. Like, wow, the artist is fantastic. The lyrics, the writing is amazing. I just can't look at these letters. It's driving me crazy. Like, so it needs to flow. Everything needs to have a cohesiveness to it. And so you're mainly the writer on your projects and obviously director. Like, you're laying out the panels. Like, you have a full-on team. Are you the letterer as well? Do you have an editor? Like, and how about maybe did you go about getting these people? Were they through CG, Facebook? Like, you know you're muted, Angela, by the way? I don't know if you knew that.
Yep, and I just almost removed myself.
Sorry, I just didn't know if you're
I'm like dropping links, and I don't want to be all like.
No, you're fine. I just didn't know if chat had
no,
questions.
I muted on purpose.
Okay.
Oh yeah. No, I will ask questions.
You're a doll. Okay.
I'm absorbing what you guys are talking about. So.
Yes.
Yeah. I got questions. Oh, just you wait.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
Oh boy.
You're gonna have to answer some questions, sir.
Mm-hmm. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So I don't know if you remember the question.
So
I almost don't.
Yeah, I do. So yeah, you asked me how much of beyond the scope of being a writer in this project. So, you know, that's the thing, right? So Luke does a lot of the heavy lifting. So Luke Stone.
And you're talking about Luke Stone, because that's Death Metal Hero is Luke as well. So I don't want people to get thrown off there. There's a couple of Lukes in CG.
Luke Stone.
Yep.
Yes. So Luke Stone, he's my artist, but he's also, you could say, you know, he's the comics editor, as in like he does layouts, but he's also, you know, the one that's kind of like making the decisions for how the panels show up on the page.
Right.
As far as like editing my words, I'm strict. You know, I'm the one that's over that part. But that's, I mean, it's pretty much just he and myself, and then he's doing letters for now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's a letterer on this project. And then we have Patrick Gamma, who's his colorist for Hybrids.
Nice.
You know, I'm
everybody go check out Hybrids.
Fortunate that he had enough time to bring it. Yeah, I was really fortunate that Patrick had time in his schedule to be able to be a part of this project with us. So
nice.
So and he really knocked it out of the park. Like I can't ask for better. He saw what I was doing with the colors and the certain things that I specifically needed to show in the comic. There's only just a couple of things that I really wanted to show, and he nailed it. So
nice.
I mean,
yeah, it's nice when it all comes. It's nice when a plan comes together. To quote, you know,
totally.
The A-Team there. That's awesome, and like it's great that you're using like. And I know we're in Comicsgate. We love Comicsgate, and we love it when people hire within Comicsgate. But I'm not opposed to people like, yeah, I got this guy found him through Facebook or whatever. Like, I'm not somebody who like is opposed to that, but it's great that CGers are getting more work from CGers. You know, it really is. It's a fantastic thing. So now you're shadow banned, by the way, because we just said you're CG. So
it is what it is.
It happens.
Welcome to the club.
Welcome to the club.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Ooh.
Wait, what was the book you mentioned? You said Hybrids. Is that?
Yeah, that's Luke Stone's.
Yeah.
They have Rift
That's
Riders
Luke
out, and you can get
Stone's.
Hybrids
Yeah.
on that as well. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay,
yeah,
cool.
everybody.
Okay,
Yeah,
buddy.
I was gonna
Yeah.
ask, like, so then is Luke gonna use like Piper as a copy editor to like check spelling mistakes? Like, who do you have maybe to like proofread stuff? Because we're all human. We make mistakes. Like, even if we're a copy editor could even make a mistake. So like, who like just spell checks? Like, is he just showing you what he did, and you're like, hey man, you spelled the word hypotheorem wrong or something?
So for me, I proofread my own stuff, but I do it. I use a technique where I'll let the script, like I'll write the script and I'll let it sit, and then I'll come back to it after a few days or like a week or whatever, and then I'll see it with fresh eyes, and I'll readjust the voice of a particular character, or readjust some of the verbiage, some of the words that they use, and then I also obviously look for errors in that moment. So I'm my own editor. I'm my own copy editor, where Luke is more of the comic side of being an editor.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious.
For now. I will say, like, yeah, for now, like when I can afford one, sure, I'm going to, hire an editor, and I have a few in mind. But yeah, I do plan to do that.
Yeah, there's a few that I know of. Like there's Piper, Shay, Albino Thunderbuns, Bancroft's guy. He hasn't been around in a bit, but yeah. There's a few.
I forget his name.
Kimo Sabi. Yep. There's a few
Are you
really
talking
good
about editors?
Yes, ma'am.
Christina Lynn, I think she edits Lepresti. I think it's Christina,
there you go.
But usually see her.
Look at you dropping big names like Lepresti, who, by the way, is on this guy's campaign.
Hey!
But we're going to show it.
Earlier, I was listening. I really was listening, I promise.
We're going to show it. It's all right. I like Lepresti too. I mainly watch his Sunday streams, but probably one of the most genuine, down to earth cats. And there's a few, but he's in the top. In Comicsgate, there's just like you can tell he loves this stuff. So he loves comics, and that's what I love. Like, do you stream at all? Like, do you have a channel?
I do have a channel, and I am planning to stream. Okay. Mine's going to be a little unconventional once I actually do it. But at the same time, I'm also in talks with a fellow creator. I don't really want to say the name yet because
who's that?
Still hashing out.
What's his name again?
Nice. You'll see eventually.
Well, I was just curious because I don't mind the streams where they talk about, hey, these people are like doing this to hurt this creator, or this movie is crap because of these reasons. I don't mind those, but I really love the one because I'm an artist. I've been collecting comics for decades. Like I love this stuff. It's what I grew up with. It's a part of my life. It's something that I escaped to and grew up with. So I love those streams when they just talk about comics or art or interview like comic book artists. Like I was in Lepresti's on Sunday, not Sunday, but last night. He had one last night, and he had a wonderful guest on, and then he also had a famous anchor in the chat. I'm like, holy crap, this is amazing. So I was like, it's blowing my mind. And so I love those kind of streams where it's just all about the passion of the art and the craft. And like I said, don't get me wrong, I still watch all those other ones too. You can find me in Ethan's and Malin's and everybody's. It's Irene's, and Irene is also one who talks about comics and loves the art as well too. And they all do, Ethan and Malin. I'm not bashing them, but I go to them for news sources so much sometimes. Like what I mean. Yeah. So and they're great.
And also the kayfabe. That's the other thing. There's a certain level of kayfabe that they have.
There is.
It's all. There's some hype. And there's a. One of them has a character he's the heel, and then another person's the face. I mean, they change their roles here and there depending on whatever drama of the day it is, just to kind of keep it somewhat entertaining. Like
right, and that's great YouTubing, actually. Like, I mean, look, I got Cyberfrog stuff back there, so yeah. But yeah, and that's great YouTubing, but that's where I kind of fall short on my channel, because I'm mainly just like, hey, here's some artwork, but I'm not really good at that kayfabing or that news sourcing or that culture war stuff. Like, I'm just not good at projecting it and like the vernacular, getting my verbiage proper. So I just don't bother with it. Plus, other people can do it better. So if you could do it better, I'm gonna hand it off to you, and have my hats off to you. So yeah, but no, that's why I was curious is if you had a channel as to what you said. It's going to be like when you do start to live stream. It's going to be more a little less conventional, do you mean in regards like maybe writing tutorials, or do you just mean like we're gonna watch old sitcoms?
No, so I've I put in our private chat a link to a short that'll show people kind of what I'm about. I am artistic, but it has to do with it has to. You're welcome. It has to do with
pull that up, Angel.
Needlepoint. I do hand embroidery, so.
Oh wow! Okay, no, that's awesome, dude. Yeah.
and so my idea is just to have different guests on and to engage with the chat while I'm working on a hand embroidery piece. And the idea is to get some prints, like a basic print of a CG character or whatnot, and just work on it on stream. I may not be able to finish it that same stream, but it's something to work on while people watch, and I get to engage with them. And
that's the thing, man. I do time lapses sometimes and all that other stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't always finish the piece. It's just like, hey, here's some process of what I do, or like a technique or something like that. And some people, I might talk over it. I might just show the whole thing, but people might pick up a technique here or there if you're an artist, or you just might like to see, if you're a fan, you like to see, how does Jason do what he does? They're fun. Right. They don't always get the biggest clicks, but who cares? It's art. So this is what are we looking at here?
This is hand embroidery pieces. So I actually, what I do is I take a pattern and I put it down, using a transfer, kind of like carbon. It's kind of like a carbon copy material, and you put it down, and then you trace over whatever it is that you're wanting to do, and it puts that design onto the fabric. And then after the fact, I take needle and thread, and then I just start to embroider simple outlines and whatnot, just by
how detailed can you get?
I can get pretty detailed, I suppose, but I like to keep it somewhat simple and
just it takes
a nice little outline,
Yeah, obviously an outline, not only will it look cleaner, it'll also be a little quicker. It won't take you 12 days to do. So like on a typical like that right there, like how long would that take? Like as an example, like a day?
Yeah, it would take like an afternoon. That one piece. I will say that Captain America shield, that took me a while.
I would imagine.
But but the thing is, I've kind of shelved it for a while, and now I'm kind of coming back to it. So it's going to take me a little while to get my speed back.
Hey,
up.
Man. Here's what the thing about like YouTube and doing your channel and stuff, like everybody even says it, and it is true. Do what you love, because there's even if it doesn't like blow up or get crazy, or you get like 10,000 subscribers in a week, it doesn't matter, because there's other people out there that love what you do too, and they may not be able to find it. So if you're doing it like, oh wow, look at this, I got Agent Zero, he's doing this embroidery stuff. That's pretty. I do it too. Oh cool, so that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah,
nice.
For sure.
I like it. Okay. Okay, I gotta make sure I get rid of the right thing there. Yeah, nice, man. I like it. Yeah, do it. I say do it. Like, I was curious because we did these, the beanies, and we wanted to get them embroidered on, and every place was like, that's way too difficult. So we had to go with patches and then just have them sewn on. So we are compensating people in a way who backed the beanies, because it's not exactly what we wanted. So even though they look great, but yeah. So yeah, no, do it, man. And hopefully Angela can link your YouTube, because I couldn't find you. So because your information is your stuff, like your Twitter is linked, as well as the campaign down below in the description. So people can find your Twitter at least, and also your campaign link is pinned to the chat up above. And by the way, we are streaming on Facebook, so if you made it this far on Facebook, thank you for watching. And also go back his campaign, check it out, or share it out.
I couldn't find your channel. I know last time you were in a chat with me, you gave it to me, but I don't have it here. So now I have it, and I'm going to share it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Angie. See, that's why she's here. We love her.
I'm the Vanna White of the stream.
You are not Vanna White. Nice. You're more than Vanna White. I heard you say that on this. You're more than Vanna White. You could. Vanna White just stands there.
Vanna White. Oh, hush.
No, but Vanna White just stands there. You can actually talk. You can ask questions. You can. Yeah,
I guess that's true. I guess that's true. Okay.
it is true.
Hold on a second.
Speaking of which, Angela, do you have any questions as of this moment before we show the campaign?
She
I actually
she said she had
go
like a bunch of them.
I had. I have questions, but it's about the campaign. So if you want to share,
Oh, okay.
the campaign,
All right.
go.
Let me sip my Groot liquid and. All right. So here we go.
Groot liquid. I love it.
Chrome Dog. And what's this? What do we have pulled up? Whose comment is this?
Fade Salvation. Hello.
Yeah. Hey, Fade. I haven't seen Fade in a while. What's up, Fade? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Fade used to be on my channel, but he got too good for me, so he stopped showing up. I'm just kidding. I love Fade. Fade's a good guy. I haven't, to be fair, I haven't really sent him the link in a while, so sorry, Fade. No, Fade's great. I think his channel's like Fade Salvation on YouTube, so everybody go check it out. He does like gaming and stuff like that. He's a nice guy, really nice guy. Angela, can you find the trailer in my little videos? It's labeled Chrome Dog, and we're gonna play that trailer then. Can we do it?
I feel like this is a.
We can do it. This is a test. This
is seriously a test, and it's live, and now I'm scared. Wait, is
that pressure? We do it live. That's why. By the way, like, share, subscribe.
Wait, Amanda,
you want me to do it? I can do it.
You
want me to do
Would you please do it?
I'll do it.
I added.
You're gonna have to show me
the
this
link
later.
to the campaign.
It's under.
Yeah.
No, you're good. You're good. We'll do it. Everybody, we're gonna roll the beautiful bean footage.
All right.
Epsilon City needs heroes, but will Scratch, the Chrome Dog, have what it takes to answer the call? Beck, Chrome Dog, starting February 3rd on Indiegogo.
Nice, I like it, man. Nice trailer.
That's like the first time I've seen that. I just realized that.
Anyway,
that was cool.
It's that one. It's that one that I do it differently because I do it as an overlay. So whatever video you have there, that's the one I use. So, yeah, it's just easier because with uploading speeds and stuff, sometimes it buffers and skips and it bothers me. So I'm like, I'm just going to upload it to my thing and play it smoothly.
Make it rock.
We do what we do here, and sometimes we do it wrong. But, all right, so what else? Further the dilly, the nilly, and the gillian. Tell me about Chrome Dog, man.
So Chrome Dog is a character who, he is a heavy, but he also has certain abilities that allow him to be a superhero in the world that he lives. And so what I mean by that is the world that he lives in is set close to how the technology is in the 80s and the 90s. So they don't have cell phones everywhere. There's no wireless connectivity, in general terms. And so but his body allows him to use kind of jack in Wi-Fi to local telephone, things like that. And he can hack different things in the world that he lives in, and so he's of use to many different people, whether it's criminals or even detectives with the local police department. But he does many different jobs as well. But his go ahead.
So he's kind of like a RoboCop.
You could say that, but he's more of a robo mercenary in a way. He works odd jobs because this body of his he doesn't need to sleep, but he has a certain what's the word? So even though he's a machine, or he's living in a machine, we'll say, he's very much still, or he's very much a human. But
so he has like
where he came from.
kind of has like he has a consciousness or a quote unquote soul, so to speak, but it's inhabited into a cybernetic body, something like that.
Correct.
I see. I could know. I know things. I know things.
So
Yeah.
does his origin story as well have like, was he a wolf before and then, or is that gonna, like, I guess I don't want to spoil the book. So if I am,
so
then
this
don't
body,
answer.
No, it's fine. I appreciate the question. So this body is designed the way it is, and his soul just happened to cross it one day. And so what we find in Chrome Dog #1, we're not actually going to see his origin story. We're just going to see him dealing with something.
I like that.
And like in medias res, at least for the first 3 issues. I am planning to eventually, come out with an issue 0 that's going to cover his origin. But for now, suffice it to say that I would say that his previous life, he was a human, but in a different time, in a different place.
I like those kind of stories, and I like that where like you start the story off and it's like this character has existed for like 700 issues. You know who they are. You're just going to go along on their little adventure, and then their backstory, you're like, that you could tell later, and it to me, it just adds to the I don't know, it just adds to the aesthetic of it. It makes it a little more comforting in a way. It's like, oh, okay, I know this dude now. Like you kind of learn their character as they go, but it becomes familiar and relatable in a way. And so you're just like, you don't have to worry about their origin. Like eventually you figure, hey, they got this way somehow, but as of right now, I like this, So I like that whole Logan type mystery of who they were, that Wolverine type thing. I like that. It's not something done very often anymore in comics. Usually people want that origin right out the gate. So I like that.
Well, and that's the thing. I've gotten so tired of seeing Spider-Man's origin played over.
Oh, tell me about it.
I'm tired of seeing, Superman's origin. Oh my gosh, played over and over. Batman over and over.
Queen.
Even the Punisher to a certain extent.
Right.
It's kind of like the stuff. It's just like, okay, we get it. We know
right.
who he is. Let's move on.
I do
Let's
understand
do other things with the hero.
And I do understand there is a generational thing. Like there might be like a 6-year-old that doesn't know how Batman became Batman, but at the same time, in that regard, their parents would have told them. You know what I mean? It's such pop culture nowadays, then integrated within like all the family systems that like jocks know how Superman is Superman. They like, you know what I mean? Like it's like fake geek people. Like they're there and they know how everybody became everybody. So it's kind of like taught down now from passage of time. So nothing wrong with saying it once in a while, but to show like 30 minutes of a movie or like 12 pages of a comic every time, it gets old. It does. You're right. And like I said, I like that. And once you get to know the character, though, also with the way you're doing it, you get to know how the character is, their personality, their characterization, and then later on, you're like, man, I really would love to know how did they become this way, and you get more curious. So you kind of. And actually, you retain that reader, you retain that fan in that regard. Like you get them, you hook them in, So yeah, and so you say you have Luke Stone on these pages here.
Yes.
Yeah, these are gorgeous.
That's all Luke.
And
so
it's gorgeous.
Is the character? So there's the character. It's like I'm completely intrigued because it's really cute. But I mean, I don't know if it's an actual. Is that the Chrome Dog right there?
All right,
it's on the screen right now.
So scroll up to that first the first page. And so this is what we see here. Yeah, what we see here, we see Chrome Dog sitting in his, this is kind of his lair. So you could say that this is his Wayne Manor. Okay, This is where he lives. He has another place that we'll see later on that is his quote unquote.
He's gonna be a billionaire. Okay? He's going to be like a really rich wolf.
No, he's
rich wolf.
His name his name is Scratch, and that's kind of a play on a lot of different levels. But one of them is he's out here working for Scratch.
Nice.
And as he's working these different jobs, he's making this money. He has certain goals in mind that he wants to use the money for. Because for him, food is not one of them. So. Right. Yeah, thanks, Jolly Green. I'm with you on that. I thank you. I wanted to make sure more and more people get to read this book.
This leads me. Yeah, I mean, no. Go ahead. Answer the rest of Angela's question. I don't want to interrupt.
Oh no. So ultimately, what we see here is we see Chrome Dog. You know, he's sitting in his lair, so to speak, which is kind of a maintenance shelter that's of this amusement park, Cerulean Park. And so he's gearing up for his day job, which is where he passes out and sells these little plushies as Wally the Wolf, which is a cartoon character who is part of the theme of this park. Wally the Wolf is a golden prairie wolf, which is indigenous to a nearby sector, and so he kind of takes on that cartoon mantle, so to speak. And I have different reasons why I chose to do this. One of them is to kind of make himself not so frightful to who we actually see here in this ash can when he has to help out Sarah by the end of the 10 pages. And so there's there's different things going on there. But yeah, this is his day job because he can't sleep, although he feels like he should need to. It's like he has this. He has insomnia and it bothers him, but he also wants to help, do as much good as he can, even though he does also help out criminals. But yeah, certain lines he won't cross.
So this is this like to your standards anyway? Is this all ages or is it like PG-13?
Yes.
PG-13.
Yeah. So I would say 10 years old and up. I mean, it could be all ages. It's just I'm going to be doing things in it that. It would be no worse than what we found in X-Men.
Okay,
the Chris Claremont run of X-Men.
Okay,
I mean anybody can read it.
To me, okay, this is like I say, Frog G is all ages, but to me, that's all ages, like those X-Men things, but times they are a changing, and you don't know, we read some hardcore stuff, like Claremont, that was some deep stuff, So it had a lot of heavy issues that went along with it, and it made you think, but it entertained you. So to me, that's all ages.
Exactly.
So that's why I say, so to me, this then, to my opinion, this then would be all ages, but as you say, maybe 10 and up, just in case. But I was just curious as your demographic.
That's what I'm saying,
yeah. How many pages is this?
So the completed book's going to be 32 pages.
Okay.
The whole script is done, and so
nice.
I can't wait to move on to the next beats.
And we're going to go over the tiers real quickly here. Like I said, I know like a lot of my chat is usually in everybody else's chat too, but like I said, I'm also streaming to Facebook. So if they make it this far, maybe they're interested on your tiers and what you may offer. So we're going to go over down those. Now you're going to have to tell me what's in the tiers because Jason cannot see them. So, and we're going to get to this image right here in a minute, so don't worry about that. But okay. I like your featured tier because I did check it out real quick, just the price. I like the affordability of it. In these trying times, so to speak. It's great. People can afford that. So tell me about your featured tier here.
So the featured tier, because I'm with Arrow Comics, Randy Zimmerman is our publisher, and he's made this a feature for each one of us creators to add these bundles to our campaigns as we go. Mm-hmm. And so this was specifically designed for this campaign so far. And so it's six issues, 6 separate floppy issues. So you've got Hybrids #2, Herobot Zero #2, Revolt #2, Soultac #1, which that's a floppy breakout of the wider
you get a taste
that Mad Ruth is coming out. Yeah,
yeah,
he's with Arrow now, and so this is just issue #1 of that. And then The Fool, which is a new title for Arrow Comics. It's yet to be produced, and then of course Chrome Dog. So you get all 6 of these issues.
Nice.
Plus, stretch goals, any of the stretch goals that we get through. Which I am looking to stretch this further than just being funded. Which I'm very thankful for the backers so far. But we definitely need to keep on.
Yeah, you have a metal bookmark that I saw as a stretch goal, which I like. That's nice. Those are nice. Those are good. And yeah, this is really good. I like the like I said, especially if you're new to comics, Comicsgate, or independent comics in general, and you want to dive in, this is a great tier. It really is. I'm all for this one. I think I backed this one on Hybrids or Rift Riders, if I'm not mistaken. So I love this one.
You would have done #1. Yeah, you would have done #1. We have that on this campaign as well. So
well,
new to this one.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, I love that. So okay, so what we got? What's here?
So this is work from home digital. So what I've done is each one of these perk tiers has a theme of work. And so each one is going to have something that has a title that sounds like, it's work related because he's a blue collar worker and a workaholic to boot. So in this one, it's $5 digital version of the comic, which is going to be, sent out to the backers just as soon as we are ready to go into fulfillment. And so once everything's in and we're ready to fulfill, I'll go ahead and make this one available.
Nice.
Maybe even after we send, we may kind of wait for the digital until we actually ship out all of those. That way, everybody kind of relatively gets them at the same time, whether they backed us digitally or whatnot, because I don't want spoilers out there.
True. And then this is also really good for international backers as well, because we all know that gets pretty expensive. And then what you got here?
Yeah, so we got First Shift, which is Luke. That's the Luke Stone cover, the standard. This one's the one that's going to be carried on the Arrow store on, and also when as soon as it's available, it'll be carried everywhere on like Amazon. Luke Stone's working hard to get Arrow comics on Amazon, so this is going to be the actual published version from Arrow.
Cool. Nice.
And so First Shift, and then we got. The second shift is going to be the Aaron Lopresti cover.
Yeah. How did you manage that one? How did you get Aaron Lopresti? You just asked him? Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I just asked him. It's like I love his work. I'm a permanent. I will be an instant backer of his from now until whenever. I mean, I'm like
Lopresti's great.
Completely dude. I was completely enthralled by Wraith of God, the first one, and then now I'm back in Blood Hunters. Can't wait to get that, and I love what he does. I just love him as a person, but yeah, I just reached out to him and we.
That's awesome.
He said yes, and so yeah.
No,
so again, this wasn't a secret tier though. What this was, because I remember when you for a while were trying to get backers and like you finally or to reach your goal, and you did, which is so awesome. Just this cover was a part of that, or no? I mean, now it's open to all.
So the cover, okay. So there was a for the first 50 backers, there's the metal trading card that features this art. And so it basically it's just a metal trading card of the art, but it also is going to have some masking on it that'll be reminiscent of some of that old trading card style from the 90s. I haven't really fully got that fleshed out, but that's kind of what I'm looking to do for the first 50. Once we get to a later tier, as far as like the stretch goals, once I can get to the next stretch goal, than the current one, then I may, I'm looking to open it up for all backers. But for now, it was just for the first 50 on the trading card.
And so the Lopresti one is it the cost? Is there an upcharge on the book cover or a price, or is it the same as the Luke Stone one? So you can back them both.
No.
Now, do you have, real quick before I go on? Do you have add-ons? You do? Okay,
yes.
Nice.
So yes, every perk is also available as an add-on, just to make it more of a shopping experience. Now, I will also say, when it comes to both this part-time, which is a black and white line art, as well as the second shift Lopresti cover, those two are only going to be available in this first print run. And so as soon as I'm also toying with the idea. I'm toying with the idea of making them unavailable once we go into in demand. I don't know yet.
Oh, look at you being all tricky.
I want them to be exclusive. I want people to be. They need to be special.
So you heard it. Get back those now, because he might take them off.
You might miss out. That's it.
No, you got me. So there you go.
That's how you get Angela. Get an exclusive Lopresti cover.
That cover is really awesome. So yeah,
it is. It's beautiful.
And we haven't gotten there yet, but I will say to those that are interested in that and what I just said, the all-nighter bundle, which is at the very end, has all 3 covers, and then it also has 2 metal prints in it. So
is that this one?
It's everything all at once. No, it's all the way down at the bottom. I just wanted to bring that up, highlight that, because Sure. This is the Arrow Bundle #1, which is the same bundle that was affiliated with Luke Stone's Rift Riders campaign.
Oh, okay.
Not Luke Stone, Piper. Sorry,
Piper.
Piper Seed. That's technically she's the one that wrote that book, and
Mhm.
Luke Stone's on it too.
Get well, Piper.
And Dillard.
Yeah. Yeah, Piper.
But yeah, this one features, for $50 you get Hybrids #1, Sin Killer #1, Only Death Can Save Us #1, which is it's a floppy. Hero Bot Zero #1, Paragon #1, that's a solid book in and of itself. Randy's he wrote that one. It's so good. Calico is solid as well. Then you got Revolt #1, and then of course Rift Riders #1 is all associated with that.
Nice, fantastic.
Now, and it's important to note that Chrome Dog is not on this tier. That's because it's available on the bundle #2. But if you wanted to buy this and then tack on Chrome,
you can tack on
Chrome Dog issues still. As an add-on, you can do that.
Yeah, that's why I like add-ons. You can kind of customize. And then this one here.
Yeah, so this is the Midnight Shift pack, which is this is a Lopresti cover with a metal print of the same cover, without all the trade dress. So it's just a nice little nice print there.
Nice, I like it.
And then the Swing Shift is the same, except it's the Luke Stone cover. So the standard cover, which I'm really excited about. Yeah, I'm really excited about this one because it shows the full art of that first page or of the cover, and it shows that this isn't Earth, people. This place has 2 moons. That's Lux and Proximo, which surrounds. They're the 2 moons that orbit Ringgold, which is the planet which Chrome Dog inhabits. So
nice. Yeah, Luke Stone's a great artist, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people know Luke Stone as like a kind of like a editor, writer, or something. But he's a great artist. I don't think people realize it. Like I don't know, he just doesn't put himself out as an artist as much. I don't know what it is, but like for the longest time, I thought he was a writer only. And here I was like, Luke Stone draws? Like, man, he's really good too. Yeah. Like, what do you know?
Yeah.
Like, awesome. That's pretty cool. And then, so this is the one too you were talking about. Oh, go ahead, Angela.
No, you go ahead. I have another question. But
go ahead, ask it.
Oh, no. Just regarding the Midnight Shift, that's where you can get the Lopresti cover. And just also to confirm, does that come colored or is it black and white?
Okay.
Or both?
So, yeah. Right. So it's going to be the Lopresti cover that we see here on the left. What it is the Aaron Lopresti wasn't finished by the time I went to launch, which is fine because he can take as much time as he wants because he's a busy man. He said yes.
Because he's Aaron Lopresti.
And so as we look on this, I made sure to put the asterisk so that people know that this is not
gotcha.
It says the final.
It's a placeholder.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So and unfortunately, once people start buying things, actually taking tiers and whatnot, you can't make any changes to it.
You can. It takes away the backer count, and it's a tedious. It's nice to keep it this way because you have to hide it, duplicate it, change the thumbnail. Like it's kind of tedious. Like even on Frog G, we changed one of them, and then we didn't change it back afterwards because we're like, you know what, we're not gonna because the count goes away, and it just a lot of people are like, I don't like that. I don't like it either. I like keep it like this. This is fine. Yeah. And then this was the one you were talking about, the last one here.
Yep. Yeah, the all-nighter bundle. So you get all 3 of those covers plus the 2 metal prints, and then also all of the physical stretch goals as we go along.
Nice.
So
nice. Very nice. Dig it. Very, very cool stuff. And you're fully funded? Are you fully funded?
Yes.
Good. All right. We don't have to worry about nothing. We did our job. I'm going to take credit for that.
Well, I wouldn't say worry about
No, that was all me. I got you fully funded. That was me. It happened here. You saw it.
You're going to have to fight Malin on that one.
I'll get a step ladder. I'll get up there. Don't worry about it. I'll face him eyebrow to no eyebrow. It's fine.
I was gonna say, yeah, you got an edge with those eyebrows for sure.
There you go, locked in. Nice. Do you have any more questions, Angela?
So how did you get acquainted with Luke Stone? How did that happen?
Ooh, nice question.
So, as I was, just looking around on Twitter, I saw that he had a website that was, I saw hybrids, and I actually became kind of involved with the Long Shots campaign. Heard their story, listened to Dojo Kun, the now somewhat famous. I don't even know if it's still on the website. But the dojo analysis, and so like I heard the story of the Long Shots, and I thought, wow, who is this guy? Who are these people? It's kind of I was fresh. I was like new to the space, to Comicsgate, and so I looked him up. I looked up hybrids. I was like, wow, this guy's pretty cool, and so I found his website through his Twitter, and when I clicked on it, he had a menu of services when it comes to being an artist, and one of them was character design, and so I reached out to him, and I had a couple of characters in mind. One of them being Chrome Dog, but the other was this other character that I'm still noodling on, so to speak. And of course, he helped me design him. But once we got to Chrome Dog, at that point, I was already kind of ready to start writing stuff for Chrome Dog, and I thought, this is it. And as we were wrapping up the character design, he says, who are you gonna get to draw Chrome Dog? And I says, well, I don't really know. And he says, well, I'm going to do your book. I said, you are? He says, yeah. He says, you want me to do this book? I said, okay. And so,
nice.
So then we were off to the races.
Awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Story of happenstance. Very nice. Very nice.
Well, I will say, even with this 10-page Ashcan, as we were working together, and I was trying to work out the action scenes, because it's like, for me, I said, hey, I've got the story up to this point, and I want to, have this big action, and then, this little cliffhanger at the end, and I just kind of, I said, here's these pages in the script. I called to these pages. I'm like, I want, it was almost like a card for the wrestler fans, wrestling fans. Is that, this is how I want the match to go. I want these little beats, kind of hit those and that. And then you just, I gave him full reign to write the panel, or to, draw the panels and everything as he wants. Now, what he did was he came back to me. He says, hey, do you mind if we go to 10 pages? And I said, yeah, sure, go ahead. And I said, how much more is that going to cost me? He says, nothing. I said, oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
Nice.
So he wanted to do more.
Hey, Tarks
Well, thanks, Tarks. Yeah, he's been a cheerleader of mine since the beginning.
Tarks Knight's great. Yeah, Tarks Knight's great. You keep. I was going to ask you this. Like, you keep talking, because the book is 32-page comic. You keep talking about the Ashcan. Where's the Ashcan?
So the Ashcan is what's on the campaign. It's the first 10 pages of the.
Oh, I got you. Okay. I was just a little curious, because you're like, oh, it's 32 pages. Yep. I'm like, but you say there's an Ashcan? Yep. I'm like, okay, I got you now.
Yeah. So it's the Ashcan preview is the first. Yeah, it's the first 10 pages of the actual book. So when we get to page 11, everybody needs to hold on to their hats, because we're about to, we're going to be laying down some.
Hold on to your Frog G beanie, everybody. Back in today.
That's it. That's it. 100%.
So nice. Nice.
And it's 7 more days. It's the first 30 days is up in 7 days.
Correct.
Just going by what it says on the website, and you are going to go into Maine, or do you not want to say that yet? Just put it out there.
So it will go into Mand at some point, but I am, I'm certainly noodling on the idea of just extending another 30 days. And then once, I want to hit certain, I've got certain goals in mind, certain stretch goals that I like to hit, because I'm going to lay it out there for everybody. That I want to make this a crowdfunding campaign that is going to fund more than just issue number 1. I want it to help me fund issue number 2 and so on. Like, I want this to be like the springboard that'll allow me to allow us to create more of these comics, so that I can get them out there for sale, rather than just keep coming back and dipping into the crowdfunding space outside of the print run cost, that kind of thing. And even then, it's one of those things. I'd rather the onus be on the production having already been done and be able to present the product rather than making people wait months to get the book.
I think that is the
Every
ultimate
time.
goal for quite a lot of us, is to like do that. Like the crowdfunding is the springboard, and we're gonna do it as long as we can until we make it sustainable, and just like put out the books. Like maybe even like printing costs. Maybe, I don't know. Like even then, maybe not. Like maybe we can get like a pre-order system going on eventually, and like that way
100%.
you could just pre-order the book and you'll get it, and everything will be copacetic. So yeah. Do you have any further questions, Angela? Please.
Well, just
Yes.
again, just to
No, go
reiterate,
ask as many as you want. I want you to.
to reiterate, the Aaron Lopresti cover though may be no longer available after the in demand is complete. Or sorry, that was totally not what I meant. After, like, before it goes in demand, the Aaron Lopresti cover may no longer be available.
Maybe.
Correct. I'm considering. I'm very seriously considering it, especially right now before I actually do the extension, because I do feel like certain things should be special, and if folks get in at the ground level, they should reap the best reward for doing that. So maybe at this point, since you're pressing me on it, I'll throw the stake in the ground. I'll make that assertion.
Well, since you're throwing that stake down, I'm backing it today. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Got me.
All right. So then there you go.
Got you. I got you fully funded plus another backer. Look at that.
Everyone out there, if you want that Aaron Lopresti cover, get on it because you got 7 days.
You got at least a minimum of 7 days. He may not even extend
Minimum
it.
of 7 days.
Yeah, because we don't know 100%. So once this goes in demand, that Lopresti cover will no longer be available. So if you're a big fan of Aaron Lopresti and Chromium Dogs, even if you're a fan of either one, pick it up. You know, it's a great looking cover. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
and the book is fantastic. Sounds fun.
That.
Yeah, story sounds very fun and engaging. I like it. So, what's that? Who are you highlighting? Who's that?
Tarks is going to back it again. So
yeah,
welcome,
Tarks.
You're here to help.
Oh my gosh.
There you go. Nice. So yeah. And to all those watching on Facebook. All those watching on Facebook, check it out. If you're a fan of comics or you know someone who is, share this on your Facebook, your social medias, like, share, subscribe, everything, all that stuff. Is anything else from either of you? Would anybody like this mention, like, talk about pizza toppings? I don't know. What anything? Anybody? Kennedy.
So I'll let her go first if she has any other questions, but I do have something I want.
Miss Co-host.
Leave us with.
Nothing here.
Okay.
But pineapple and pizza is great. It's good. So
wait, what?
Pineapple and pizza. Don't you try it.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. It's just I would rather have like an all meat pizza, something like that. Like, I'm not Malin, but it's I'm not that much against it. But
Henry Bemis, he's in the chats, other chats. He was like anti-pineapple, and he tried it, and he now likes it. So
it's okay.
As Stranger Things, I forget the character's name, but he's like, try before you deny.
That's right. The long-haired kid.
Yeah, the stoner.
Kid.
Yep.
The stoner kid.
Yeah, the stoner. So I just put in our little it was for sure. I put in the private chat here my Twitter status, and so I want to leave folks with this. So I know at this point, for those of you that have been looking at Chrome Dog and you're kind of like you're getting sick of the images and the things that I'm putting out there because it's all the same stuff. I'm just saying. Here's something somewhat fresh and somewhat new, but there's another villain that I'm introducing, starting with page 11, who he's going to be an analog to the Joker in my universe, but he has very little in common with the Crown Prince of Crime. Okay, and so his name is Bad Clown, but don't ever call him Bad Clown because you'll get shot in the face. He doesn't like it when people laugh at him at all. Like he likes to crack jokes, but only because he's a lighthearted kind of guy at certain times. But if you laugh too long, you're liable to get dropped off a roof. And then the other thing is he does not like to be compared to his father, who was a mafioso Don. And so this guy, he's basically he's disfigured and can't change his appearance. And so he has to live with this mug his life. Believe me, he's tried. But yeah, Bad Clown.
Nice.
He likes to be called Big Top or Big Time. That's what his friends call him.
Sounds more authoritative. Yeah. I like it.
Well,
that's cool. I like the design.
Yeah.
The link, and by the way, the link for Justin's Twitter is down in the description below, so everybody can go give him a follow. Find out all the good goodies on Chrome Dog and further projects that he has coming up. So, is there anywhere else you can be found on any social medias that you want to plug, or anybody else you want to maybe shout out before we end out the day?
So, okay. So, I guess you can find me on Facebook, Justin K. Sweet. I think you could search me that way. I'm around. I'm one of the many. My face, now you see what I look like. You can probably find me easy on Facebook. It is a book of faces. You can find me on YouTube. And I guess maybe if you search good enough, I don't know. But I do want to shout out Kevin McDougal.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I want to shout out artist Kevin McDougal and his son Eli. Is it Eli or Elijah? He and I, we have been working on this project for a while. Called it's for an anthology that's coming up called Out of Obscurity, and it's going to be published by Arrow. And there's several creator teams that are actually going into this together. And the idea is that we've handpicked public domain characters, and we are writing stories in this collective anthology. And mine has to do with a character from the 40s by the name of Bronze Terror, and I feel like. I feel like he never really got his time in the sun, so to speak, in the comics, and so I'm bringing him back, and I'm actually making him part of my universe. So nice. He's going to be someone that Chrome Dog is going to interact with at some point in the future. But in the meantime, we have the 6-page story, and I've linked it also in the private chat for that status. So folks can kind of click on that if they like. And I'm telling you, man, Kevin McDougal does really good work. And his son is also is a budding colorist and someone to watch as well. And so they're working with me on this project. And we're all working for comps. So wow. That's the deal. Everybody, every single creator that's associated with the project, and there's several of us creative teams. We're all working for comps, and so yeah, we're definitely doing our thing in that. So I just wanted to kind of highlight that.
That looks cool.
And highlight his work and the stuff that he's
got
going. Yeah. And that was actually a warm-up kind of thing. He liked my idea and my concept, my character concept for my version of Bronze Terror, whose name is Thunder Horse, the Bronze Terror. He liked it so much and was so hyped to get started with it before I handed him a script. He banged this out one afternoon and he's like, "Here, check this out." And so I went ahead and paid him for it because I'm like, I'm going to be using this. So
yeah, it's really good. Yeah, it's
here's
nice
here's some monies.
I like the juxtaposition of the usage of space and in negative space and stuff. Very nice. Yeah. Good piece. Everybody go, like you said, go. Well, it's on your Twitter, so everybody go follow Justin, Agent Zero, as you see right here. On Twitter, it's linked down below. And maybe on Facebook, too. Yeah. And back Chrome Dog, everybody. Check it out.
Yes, please.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
And, of course, everybody also go check out Frog G on Indiegogo. We are Shadow Band. Links in the description below. Get your beanie. I'm going to be mailing them out. I was going to do it Friday, but it's going to be today because life happens. But we're mailing them out today. At least the people that only back the beanies. If you back comics plus the beanie, you got to wait. So yeah, is that what is that? What is that? Is that Frog G?
Oh, that's the.
That's Frog G, yo.
I heard that's a really good book.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
And of course, Angela's Twitter handle. Angela's Twitter is actually linked in the description below as well, so you can follow the lovely Angela. Anything else you would like to say, Angela? Plug or ask?
Oh no, that's all for me today.
That's all for her today. She's gonna go out and enjoy the weather where she's at.
Yes.
Bright sunny day. Thank you everybody in the chat for coming along, checking everything out, and like, sharing, and subscribing. Hail the chat, hail Comics Gate. I'm gonna play out my outro. Bye everybody.
Have a good day, guys.
Long day,